Panda 4 just dropped in theaters, so now it's time to stop and look back and rank all 4 Kung Fu Panda movies. Welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know down in the comments below how you would rank these Kung Fu Panda movies from your least favorite to your favorite, and give it an added bonus of what your favorite DreamWorks Animation movie is in general. So make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, help me build this film-loving community all together. But we're gonna go, in last place we have Kung Fu Panda 4, which unfortunately drops the ball and goes into this adventure that is still fine for what is going for. It balances in a new trilogy by kicking off some new ideas and new characters as Po has to become the next spiritual leader and find the next dragon master. And what this story has to offer, it is good for what it is going for, but it is rather predictable, goes about these different ideas that we've kind of seen before from different films and from the franchise as a whole. It's missing the Furious 5 aspect, and it also has this story beat where it just goes along, doesn't flow well with the music involved, and has the villain be fairly plain in what she's going after, what her intentions are, and just having that predictability aspect upon her character as a whole. And coming in at number 3, we have Kung Fu Panda 3. Now this one is good for what is after. I just enjoy the father's idea that you're going to have Po find his real dad as they find the balance of the goose dad and the panda dad. And just the flow of the story is generally decent, what they're after, and having Kai as one of the lesser of the villains, I'm just not as big of a fan of his intentions, but it still goes about a nice spiritual battle for concluding the trilogy of body, mind, and spirit battles for what this trilogy has to offer. And just generally the aspects of this film, it is flavorful with how they train the pandas, especially near the end. But some of the first half, it is a lot of exposition building up and taking its time to get to certain places, which is good in some retrospect to just the film as a whole, building up the tension and building up some of the battle. But it sometimes just goes along too lengthy for what it's ultimately trying to tackle in this film as a whole. But that leads at number 2, Kung Fu Panda 2. Now I enjoyed this film, and I think it may be the best of the franchise, but for the subjective list I have right here, it is tackling a great cinematic experience, just having a darker tone to this franchise as a whole that still hasn't been met by the newer ones. And I just enjoyed the character with the peacock, how they're going over this regret in this backstory, this fortune telling him that he's going to be killed by a panda, and what they have to do with that, the battle of the mind that Po has, trying to figure out who he is, trying to figure out his past and his present and who he will become. How they tackle that all becomes something really almost motivating in a sense, just in a fun sort of sense, because it doesn't always take itself seriously, but it manages to tackle the dark aspect, the dark themes, in a way that still makes it and dumbs it down to a kid's film that you can really enjoy for the characters that continue to progress, adding more aspects to the Furious 5, breaking down more characters and breaking down Po as a character. And so the progressions and build up you get for Po and the rest of the characters involved with the cast, it makes it to be just a really lively but also dark film that is mixing well together. But that leaves at number 1, Kung Fu Panda. Call it nostalgia, call it whatever, but I just really enjoyed this film, and I think it has some really good merits that make it an objectively good film. Just the way they flow out the comedy and the drama mixture. Some of the comedy has a few hiccups where it favors over the drama, but just Tai Lung as the villain creates such great tension, great dynamics to the story, having this bright side where you have Po and his training and the unpredictable aspect of how he will become the dragon warrior and the conflict within himself, as well as people just shutting him out for who he is, as well as Tai Lung's side on the darker side of things, and just the introduction to his character. The choice of animation is one of the best that I personally see, as the visual representation of his ferocity, how they bring it up, how well guarded he is, shows the strength of his character, the power that he has, that he needs to be protected by this much level of imprisonment, and shows his true strength that ultimately builds up to a final payoff that has a great battle, that has silly moments, but builds in the tension and it creates a nice atmosphere where those silly moments actually work in favor of the story. Doesn't take you out of the rules that you're expecting these characters to follow, the atmosphere that you're expecting to take into, and the world building based on the characters alone livens up this film to be such a fun experience that still lands and works well to this day. So that's just my personal ranking of the Kung Fu Panda movies, and I'd love to see your ranking down in the comments below. Share your own subjective list as we all share our love for cinema together, so we can have a nice discussion. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Help me build this film loving community all together, and just comment all these fun suggestions for the future that we can share in the coming days. So that's just all. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.